Many of the same Wall Street investors who filed the subprime mortgage and foreclosure crises are now fueling a new trend.
Yeah, this one is called Contract for Deed. And here with everything you need to know to protect yourself is Shari. Oh, good morning.
Morning,
Always
you
good to
guys.
see you.
Yeah.
All right, so what is a contract for deed?
It's an instrument. It's not a new instrument being used more often. It's sort of like a hybrid between a lease and a purchase, though, John. So essentially what you do is you agree on the purchase price, you agree on what the monthly payments are going to be, and they're actually more like financing payments. So they're sort of like you're making mortgage payments that are applying towards the purchase price. You get occupancy of the property, but you don't get title until you pay all or some of the purchase price.
Sounds like rent to own.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
It's very similar to that. You are responsible for the repairs and maintenance, so that makes it a little bit different than renting, and the taxes and insurance. You basically have all the benefits of owning, except you don't get the title until a little bit later down the road. It's kind of like a car. You own the car, but you are making payments on it.
So the owner that you're paying to.
The seller.
Right. They can't decide, get cold feet, and say, you know what, we really do like that house after all. We're going to pull it out from under you. I mean, is there some kind of legality
that's an interesting issue, because now these are growing in popularity now, because this past year was actually the lowest approval rate in 10 years for mortgages under $100,000, because folks in that price range are having a really hard time saving a down payment and qualifying and whatnot. And investors in Wall Street are now looking at this product. So they're buying up loans that were, they're buying up properties that were sold under contracts for deed. Same guys who were doing a lot of the subprime financing. So we're expecting these to grow in popularity, and you need to be aware of those types of issues.
Right, so they're growing in popularity. What do you need to know if you're interested in, to protect yourself? Right.
Well, the first thing is to understand that you're getting what's called equitable title. So you have the right to possess the home. You don't have legal title, so you can't sell the home, you can't refinance it or do any of those other things without the permission. So you want to make sure that the terms that you're agreeing to allow for those types of things. What happens if the owner dies? What happens if you die? What happens if you want to rent it? What happens if you want to improve it? All of those things have to be taken care of. You want to know when you're going to actually get that equitable title. And the last thing is you want to know the state laws, because your state laws are going to dictate what happens if you default. So in Florida, for example, if you default under a contract for deed, the state law says that the owner, the former owner, has to foreclose, just as if you owned it. But in many other states, that's not the case, and that's one of the reasons these guys on Wall Street love these things, because they can just evict you. They can convert it to a month-to-month lease and kick you out. A lot of people don't know that and need to be aware of it. And the IRS actually treats this as if it's a sale. So once you're the buyer on a contract for deed, you have all the benefits of owning the property.
Do you like these?
I love them for people who need them, but like any other vehicle, it's just so important to know those little details. It's usually just a little bit of information.
It's different in a lot of states.
Right, that could prevent a real disaster.
Yeah, cross your T's and dot your I's on this if you're going to do this.
Exactly. Get a good lawyer. Normally I say, lawyers are expensive, try to avoid them. If you do a contract for deed, get
money
a good lawyer.
well spent.
Good advice. Shari,
so
lifestyle expert. Thank you for joining us once again. Let's check the Wednesday.